Now, the first thing I'm going to ask you is yesterday, when we talked the other day, you gave me a general synopsis of your philosophy in a very general term. So I want you to do that again, because then I'm going to start backwards from there.
Okay, good. I believe it's important for all of us to start waking up to who we really are. In who we really are is a potentiality. We're in potential. We are able to perform and we're able to be beings of immense ability and also immense depth, as well as immense wisdom and knowledge and trust and love. And so as humans, we are very little of that, and we have basically specialized in keeping a connection with our minds or our undeveloped part, our ego, such that we follow orders and we keep what society says, and if the doctor says take these 2 pills, that's what we do. And if we look at the TV and the TV says don't go out because it's going to rain, that's pretty much. So we like to follow how we get acceptance in the community. We like to follow what our family says, such that eventually we wind up with lives that have very little to do with what we really came here to do. I am speaking about an existence of a being, we're all beings, that has been from many, many lifetimes. So this is not the first time that we are here on this planet, and we have acquired an experience and we have acquired, let's say, wisdom out of being here. And we also came here for a particular purpose. We each came here not only to learn who we are, but also to put it in action for the benefit of others. So sharing from our true selves and ability to bring that light that we are into the world is of the utmost importance. Otherwise, we will continue to be experiencing failures and pain and disappointments and slavery and stupidity, such as we have now with our financial systems and our psychiatrists and our doctors, that they do certain things just to get out of the way. Like when they cut something, they do not respect life. They don't respect the true cause of things. They're not really interested in why something occurs, but they want to just get rid of the symptoms. And so that's pretty much a whole philosophy that really involves awakening. And in the process of awakening, the person finds a lot of beauty and a lot of reasons for being here, and more importantly, unity and connection with others. And that's when we start as a whole, as a soul, as a oneness, as humanity, to start coming together. And that's the process that's available for us this year, especially.
Okay. In the first conversation we had, we were talking about truth. Okay. How do we determine our truth?
That's a very good question. Truth is really not a concept. Truth is connected to a reality that is the closest, as close as we get to source, as close as we get to He who emanates life, then the closer we are to that we call truth. So therefore, it's like going up a river, and then you look at the water, but you want to get to the source of the water. And the closer you get to the source, the purer the water would be. And so we as humans get an understanding of truth as in, well, let me measure, or let me test it, or let me ask people to see if it's true, or if the newspaper says it's true, or if someone can say, yes, I saw it, then it's true. So we depend on our senses to know truth. But once we open the heart, once we're able to feel and sense deeper into our inner being, we start connecting with a sort of truth that is alive and is happening all the time. And it really has nothing to do with us, as we are the vehicles, the channels of that truth. So then, just as taking a shower, we start enjoying being one with the truth. And at that moment, you start, let's say, tasting and understanding and loving that truth.
As human beings, we like to be able to give something a name, a label. What would you call this philosophy that you have gleaned?
That I have polished, that I have kind of for myself,
Yes.
was the ascension technology. Ascension technology. Let's say an ascension coach.
Okay.
I'm a person that can see your soul and see your awareness here and can guide you from here to there. This is quite a feat. When you can embody your soul's presence here and every cell of your body can vibrate at that rate, then existence becomes much grander, and you can display the particular qualities that you're actually made out of, which is the purpose why you're here, to be in service, to give and share those with others. And so that's my ability. My ability is to be able to see the little and big blockages, guide you on the releasing of those, and every time we release one, more light comes in. And so it's easier for the next one. So you release a big one, well then you have awarenesses and you have understandings and you have an excitement, and that's what goes on. The emotion of the person being helped goes up fast when blockages are lifted.
What was your personal, just you, the travel that you started, and when did you start that, and how did you get to this point?
Well, when I was little, I always enjoyed being mature and showing off as particularly able to understand things, maturity, little kid, mature. Or I would go to group therapy sessions with older people and I would make them all laugh. I was above things. Life for me was simple. I was, in a sense, above things that bothered other people. Still, as I grew and went to university, I was very discontent with life, really not knowing where I would go. And I enjoyed pretty much being above people and not getting involved with little things and just showing off as controlling and close-minded. Okay. When I was in Boston, 1979, I started to become aware that there was such a thing as the mind and such a thing as the spirit through studies in Dianetics and Scientology. And that was the beginning of the remembering, the beginning of the awakening that something else was going on. I had never been connected to a study of something that was actually related to something new. And I fell in love with that. Everything changed for me. My body became pure. I did what they call the purification rundown. I released all the toxins and drugs out of my body. I started to understand communication. What is communication about? I started to become aware of the mind. Well, what is the mind? And it's a recording, like a computer records and gets in the software and then it acts on it. So you can clear it up, you can get rid of the viruses, you can bring it back to its original state, gotten rid of all the bad information and all the software that you don't want, etc. And so I did that with my mind and I created what they called clear. So I'm now the opposite of being reactive. Reactivity is when the person is acting upon all the garbage inside his mind and he believes it to be true. Like a person that is claustrophobic. He goes into an elevator and he can't be there. He's completely in reaction. But there is nothing that is real at that moment, but it's something that he's imagining is real. And so once he clears that memory out of his mind, he's now able to go into the elevator and be completely non-reactive. So that's good. So we did that process, which was amazing. And then we went into deal with the spirit. Now, spirit really starts getting into areas of inner awareness that is not based on material world. So therefore, abilities to be in certain places, to perceive certain things, and also to connect with others in a brand new way. Okay? See people as their subtle energy bodies rather than, oh, he doesn't have a nice car, or he doesn't have a nice legs, or his hair is not good. So you start seeing people as more than just the physicality of things, as well as you start looking at your life beyond how much money I'm making, or how my body is looking. So I started to become aware, obviously, of past lifetimes and how you actually clear all this pain that has been accumulating all these lifetimes to the point where you can possibly become the pristine soul that you are. See, that's amazing. It goes beyond the mind. It goes to a place where you can actually perform spiritually and have a beingness that is pure, and you can actually perceive things from all different dimensions rather than just this dimension. Yeah, so that became very interesting to me. And I did many classes in many subjects since 1982 to the present. I've gone through Sufism, where I learned about the heart, traveling through the heart to the soul and to source. That's an amazing ability, to be able to open up the heart, which means you need to clear up all of the heart's closed doors and all the pain that is accumulated there, so that you can go in and be aware of your inner traveling, such that you can go into different worlds and connect to different, let's say, beings, because the universe is full of beings. All the space that we see is full of aliveness, full of connections, possibility of connections with beings that are here to help us. I've studied Kabbalah, and so in Kabbalah I've learned a lot about what they call the opponent. So you start understanding that really life is a game between the light and the darkness, and you have choices, and that the opponent is very much a reality in people's lives, and we actually have what I call the challenger, that is always testing you to see if you actually learned the lesson or if you haven't. So if you haven't learned the lesson, maybe you get tricked again. It has happened to me in business. If I haven't learned the lesson, the next client brings the same lesson again, just to see if I learned it. So if I did learn it, then I can go into the next lesson. If I didn't, then I fall for that, and I have to experience all the pain that comes with it, and then finally I learn it, go to the next one. So once I've understood the relevance of the opponent, relevance of darkness, relevance of evil, we can call it that way, then you start, let's say, playing with life. You start understanding more of the importance of balancing life and not judging people so harshly, and having an ability to see in others their true godliness, for example, and the true God presence. Not so much as a human, what did he do right, he did wrong, is there anything that doesn't align with me and that bothers me. See, I've acquired now the possibility to look at beings in a much grander way. And that's because I also see myself as having a job, having a mission. And my mission is to help people awaken wherever they are, I'm able to help people grow little by little, get rid of what they don't want and bring what they want, so that eventually their heart becomes happier and happier and happier, which, what does that mean? It means more and more light, which brings even more light and support from the higher planes, so that existence becomes a bliss. Existence itself becomes, how much light can I have today? How much can I do today? Who can I help today? How can I use today for something amazing? Then you're starting to creating miracles, and really life becomes all worthwhile.